real quick, I just want to talk about credit right quick. The other day I was talking to somebody about credit, and what I realized is that a lot of people never been taught credit before or how to use credit. What I also realized is that it seems like 90% of the people that I've came across over the years that's over the age of like 25 and 30 never established a credit score, never even started getting credit cards or just building a credit profile of any kind. And if we did, what would happen is typically we go get the cards, run them up, run it up, run it up, run it up, and never kind of put money back into it, and just let the cards get charged off, let the account go into delinquency. It never gets back on track. Most of us never look at credit as our friend or something we should dedicate our time into learning. Here's what I noticed also about credit is that most of the time our parents have never taught us about credit. Most of our parents never knew how to use credit. Most of our parents was always in struggle, like the struggle mind, the mindset of being in the struggle phase. Most of our parents never even had an opportunity to learn credit themselves because their parents didn't know about credit and how to use credit. So if you go for a few generations and then you come up to us, who's the people that's the first generation millionaires of our families at times, the first generation A1 credit holders, scores, profiles, things of that sort. We're the ones that's doing those things that our parents wasn't able to show us. And here's what I know about credit also is that with a good credit score, you can get approvals. But with a great credit profile, you can get instant approvals. But it's very important to have both. Like, for instance, some people may have a good credit score, but may not have a good credit profile. Like, all right, so how does that work, right? So they may have a good credit score. Let's just say they became an authorized user or got trade lines. And I'm going to say something about trade lines too after I get this example, but let me just give you an example. Let's say somebody is like starting off their credit profile or starting off their credit, and then they open up a card or they become a authorized user or something like that, get a trade line from somebody else, and they score jump up to 7. Boom. Now, that's cool. The only problem with that is you don't have enough established credit history for a bank to give you high limits. You might can go get certain things, but you're going to get lower limits. You're not going to get those 5, 10, $20,000 limits at times. I'm not saying this is everybody, but you got to keep in mind when you got a good credit score, you're going to get approved for something. They're going to give you some type of money. They're going to give you something. It's not going to be where you go to the bank and you don't get anything. You're going to get something. Is it going to be a lot? Who knows? It just depends on what the bank thinks that you can manage at the time that you're getting some money from them, right? So, for instance, a person, again, can get on a back end authorized user. An authorized user position is basically if you got credit card, somebody can get on the back of your credit card, like this credit card here, right? I got right here, boom. It's a Chase credit card I use on my daily basis. If I put somebody on this, they'll be on the back of this card and it'll be on their credit profile as this number, right? But the reality is this. That's an authorized user position. So that authorized user position is not as strong as a primary user position. You see, you learn this stuff over the years. Even though you hear it, and people sell it, trade lines, accounts, this, that. The reality is most of the time, not most of the time, but in some cases, those people that got trade lines, they still may not get approved, even though they have a credit score that's strong and they can go into a bank and say, hey, I got a 700. The bank still may give them a minimum amount of money to start them off for a primary account that they will work on, as opposed to anything else. How do I know this? And y'all probably like, well, how do you know all of this? Well, you got to understand, for the last probably 15 years or more, I've been Getting credit, messing it up. Getting credit, messing it up. Getting car notes, messing it up. Getting title loans and payday loans. I done did all of the financial joints in between. I done played that game to where I understand it. Have I messed up my credit score since that time? Not necessarily messed it up. Does it dip? Yes, it dips when I use the cards across to pay this, to do this, to do that, to do this. Have I been frivolous at times? Absolutely. Did I mess it up before in the past? Absolutely. Do I know how today to get it back on track? Yes, now I do, because I took time to educate myself and I educate other people. Not like I'm a teacher of credit, but I know credit enough that when people ask questions, I can give them an answer of what I think they can possibly do. I'll give them a suggestion. I'm not going to give you the concrete answer because it may not work for you like it had for me or other people. So I understand credit. I got about 10 credit cards at this point, maybe 9 or 10. I want to say 10 overall. I got 10 credit cards. And I bank with several banks for different reasons because I know that I'm creating relationships with these banks. But when we're talking about credit, credit should be something that you dedicate time to. Credit should be something that you put time into to actually learn. If you want to go get a car, if you want to go get anything without using cash, you're going to need credit. Even if you have a business. And it's another thing. People that have businesses, small corporations, LLCs, whatever your company is. When you go get financing, unless your company has already established its own personal lines of credit by doing business and stuff like that, they're going to pull your personal credit score. They want to know who's the borrower that's borrowing for this business. If the business, do that make sense? So if you have a business that's already been running for 2 years and you're able to prove that the business has income, so when they do lend, because the borrower or the lender is going to say, all right, if we lend this person 100,000, how much do they make a year? If we lend this person 20,000 a year, 20,000, how much do that person make or generate for them to be able to pay a $20,000 credit card or $20,000 worth of credit cards over some time? How do they have the income to do that? And the best thing for you to do is have a great credit profile. That goes back to that. Trade lines are cool, but if it's not primary, then it doesn't look as good as it would look if you have primary lines. You can have trade lines, you can have authorized or user positions, but if it's not your own personal primary trade lines, then at the end of the day, it's just a line that's on your credit profile. Banks understand that, and banks know we use each other to build our scores, so that's not a problem. That's a normal occurrence. That's like typical. However, you have to take the years to learn credit. How to use credit, how to pay it back, how to use your income to put back into your credit lines. Do that make sense? As opposed to looking at credit as a bill, start looking at credit as a tool. Because credit is not a bill, it's more of a tool. It's a tool for you to harness and leverage somebody else's money for you to do the things you need to do in advance. So if you know that you get paid 3-4 weeks out from now, once a month, twice, every 2 weeks or whatever, credit cards are great to have because you can leverage the money that's there that you know you're going to have anyway as cash. See, I use credit as a day-to-day thing. I rarely use my debit cards at this point. I might use a debit card to pull cash if I need to do a cash transaction where cash is needed for a certain thing. But at the end of the day, I'm using my credits. I'm using the credit cards. I'm using all that kind of stuff because I understand the importance of having a good credit score, a good credit profile. I understand how having a good credit score and profile can get you instant approvals and or approvals in different ways. If you want to get into real estate, for instance, you can get into real estate without credit, but if you got cash in real estate, then you're a lot better because you can, pay for your own house, pay it, closing costs, down payments, whatever else with cash. You can also get your rehab started if it's a rehab deal with cash. But if you're going to get financing of any type, they're going to pull your credit score. So it's focus on getting a good credit profile, not only just the score. You know what I mean? So if we talking about credit, learn credit. Learn it. If somebody in your circle is good at it, sit down with them and talk to them about credit and how they use credit and how to learn from them. Help them. Tell them to help you to learn how to get credit going, because you're going to need it in the future. You're going to need it if you want to get a house in your name. If you want to get anything in your name that's dealing with a financial institution, you're going to need credit. And the best credit to at least have on the low end is at least a 650 and up. 650, 620 with credit unions, and probably 650 and up in general. 680 is like the good low point of good credit. It's like the lowest point of good credit, 680 and up. After 7 and 750, 720 and all that, man, you just start getting all kind of instant approvals. My highest score at one time is 821. You know, now it's fluctuating and going up and down because I'm paying cards down, paying off balances, getting everything back on track because I got a big move I want to make in 2025. So, you know, so I'm going to end it here, but I want you guys to really take on this credit thing and not just go on to these credit courses and all of this kind of stuff. Take that information in and learn from it and apply it to your journey. Don't take it as the exact thing, because results vary for everyone. So when it comes down to credit, it's good to have great credit. It's good to have a good credit profile, but it's also to have both a good credit score and a good credit profile so you can get instant approvals whenever you need some money or need some help with finances, so you won't have to ask anybody else. And truly, the answer to any financial problem in life is having a great credit score, because when you're back to the wall, and you're going through all of these different changes financially, stuff that may be going wrong, you can always probably go to your bank and get a loan, a line of credit, or something to help you boost your financial situation, where it could kind of give you some cushion to kind of just ease up a little bit and not be as stressed. So with that being said, work on your credit profile, leave your comments, like, comment, subscribe if you feel like it, whether you feel like it or not. Let me know what you think about credit. How do you use credit? How do you go about doing your credit throughout the months? Do you have one credit card, 5 credit cards, 20 credit cards? Some people got 100 and whatever credit card, a whole stack of them, and got several $100,000 lines of credit, and that's great because it shows banks that you're a good borrower and you can manage money. So I'm going to stop it here. Let me know what y'all think. Leave it in the comments. Let me know about what y'all think about credit and how you view credit, and if credit is something that you know how to use. And if you don't know how to use it, search around on YouTube. There's so many videos. There's so many coaches, and find the reputable coaches. The ones that really teach and want you to succeed, not the ones that's trying to get over on you. So with that being said, get out there and make it happen. Get up on your credit profile. Get it on it. Make sure it's A1 credit as best as you could. It may take some time. And if you need to clean your credit or sweep it or update, get the right information being reported on your credit profiles, do it the right way. Let me know what y'all think, y'all. Peace.